So, good afternoon again, my fellows human beings, yeah. Thank you very much for being here with me. I want to thank all the thumbs up, all the beautiful comments, beautiful ideas you guys gave me to do other videos. Right now, I want to do a summary of, I think, like 3 or 4 interviews from Santos Bonacci. Because in some interviews the information is incomplete, and Santos Bonacci has a beautiful heart. I have to point out he does not have any pedagogical skills. So when I come across to him like 3 or 4 years ago, what I did was that I prepared myself to see his interviews. Okay, so I went really deep into astrology. What is the precession of the equinoxes? In history facts that he talks about into the difference between electricity and magnetism, the masculine and the feminine energy. In history facts, so what I did is that I went to the best people that explains everything that he teaches, because he teaches syncretism. And syncretism is the discipline that connects all the dots. It's what the physicist Bond says, that when you study the human being, you cannot touch teaches the parts. So biology is not the whole body. Okay, what is the whole of the body? It is quantum physics and electricity, and how the atom is influenced by our thoughts. Okay, and this is what it teaches, and for that you have to understand, as above so below. It is the atom. You have to know that the connections between atoms, chakras, the chakras on the body. So I studied everything before attacking Santos Bonacci interviews, because I really like him. He's demanding, and I love demanding people. So that's, in order to get here, you saw the 200 videos I've posted before coming to this interview. Okay, so here it goes, and most likely I will put timestamps on the description so that you can rewind. Okay, because I think this is going to be a long one. Okay, so twin flames and sacred sex from Santos Bonacci, syncretism. It is important that there are 4 books that he talks about: The Perfect Matrimony, Samuel Hor, The Light of Egypt, Volume 1, Thomas Bourgogne, The Light of Egypt, Volume 2, The Good Man and the World Made Flesh, from George Carlin and Ines Eudora Perry. Okay, sacred sex is a type of sexual activity which the seminal fluids are not exchanged. These are retained during sex and reused, are sublimated. Twin souls is equal to twin. It's equal to twin flames. No, it's different from twin flames and soulmates. Okay. Soul group is a collective which you belong to. Twin flames is your own twin, literally part of your twin. As what I've understood is that you have the yin and yang. Okay, so the feminine body, or the feminine energy, or a woman whose feminine energy is the prominent one, she will have 70% feminine energy and 30% male energy. And her twin flame, it will be the polarity is going to have 70% masculine energy and 30% feminine energy, and that's the polarity. Okay, I'm going to move a little bit. Ancients knew that our souls are split in 2. Jupiter is the power of in the universe, who boasts and does this forever. The twins maybe look for each other to reunite. The only thing we can do is to learn our lessons in life, chakra per chakra, raise our oils, do the law of attraction, and show the universe we are ready for this unity. We have to see the world through oneness, okay, not through duality, okay. The sacred sex is practiced between twin souls. Ascension sex, meaning it is a chemical on the positive side, and it raises the Christ conscience within, which means the oil made on the pituitary gland goes down the spine, stays down the spine 3 days, and goes up. It goes up per chakra, depending if you have learned the lessons in your life. You can use the Peter Garlick's tool. You have to eliminate the shame, the excessive shame, excessive fear, fear of fear. You don't have to open the fourth chakra by learning how to grieve. And you have to transform everything that you say from a positive, or from your heart chakra, from a positive point of view. And you have to be able to conceptualize, okay? Sex is a divine, wonderful gift from the Creator and is the energy of the universe. It's to be explored and expressed. Each individual must express their sexuality. Basically, sex, or the power of the sacral chakra, that's the second chakra, that is orange. So it is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and purple. That's the reason why you have ultraviolet, because the crown chakra violet is the ultraviolet are the colors that we cannot see with these two eyes. And infrared are all the colors that are under the root chakra, that it is red, okay? And sexuality is the energy that allows you to have more energy in life, okay? It is the activity that allows you to recharge your energies, that gives you motivation, okay? And through correct attitudes in your daily life, that you refrain from toxic relationships, from all those negative addictions and conditioning, and you understand any attitude that is making those oils going down instead of going up, so that you can illuminate your brain, so you learn faster by spirit, because you understand the consequences of your actions, okay? And you can have bliss or ecstasy or nirvana or samadhi, okay? And for that you have to have a healthy psyche, a healthy body, and there is a direct relationship between Laura, importas de fechar a porta, se faz favor? Obrigada. You can see how healthy someone is by their relationship with sex, okay? And in order to have sacred sex with a couple, love has to be part of the equation, okay? There are two types of sex. Secular, left-hand path. There is a practice, the wrong kind of sex, which descends the individual area's sacred sex. Is the right-hand path, and what is right? Is right, so the idea of transcend our sexual behavior and transcend from lust to love, from virus to virtue, okay? So you have the left-hand, what Santa Bonacci says, that you have the left hand sex and the right sex. Both are wrong. The only one is the correct is the one in the middle. And what I've understood is the man has to be able to avoid ejaculation, because like this, when he ejaculates, he's the furthest from the source, and being connected to source is the connection to magnetism, and it's through magnetism that you're connected to the source. Source means magnetism, means love, okay? So a person that, or a man that ejaculates, he's losing his life force, the prana, the chi, okay? Sacred sex is a practice by two people that love each other. The logos, the idea, is to internalize the orgasm. and the pleasure rather than having secretions. The ejaculation orgasm depletes one vital substances, force energy and consciousness. The sperm is called the charisma or Christ, charisma. When you lose your charisma, when you squander it, like you are squandering your inheritance, you lose your charisma, your enthusiasm, your zeal, your zest, your passion for life, which means you are practicing sexual behaviors, which is spiraling you downwards in a cycle, in a loop of vicious addictions, sexual addictions, where the individual needs to practice more and more deprived, lustful encounters and promiscuity in order to satisfy themselves. To escape this loop, not by abstinence, this is yes, but by transmuting for sex, restoring the energy, the charisma, and your consciousness is restored, and the state of health, sleep, is no longer there. Once the individual has made the decision they want to ascend and use sex as an alchemical process by which you can elevate your consciousness, they set the path to sacred sex or white tantra, as opposed to grey or black tantra. Okay, black tantra is an individual always as ejaculator. Grey is once in a while. Okay. The reason why a lot of lustful sex is practiced is because the programming in the world, on TV, for example. Okay, as long as you learn how to retain ejaculation, be continent and competent and be in control of not only your mind when you are having sex, but also of your sexuality and its urges. Teach children to control their urges and to save their energies in order to be young as long as possible. They are left on their own to explore sexuality and the kind they think it is normal or healthy and beneficial for them. By practicing sacred sex, you honor your partner. When two people come together, there are three stages of sex. The first one, presence of the individual. Some people do not need touch or penetration. They only need to be in silence near their partner, their twin flame or soulmate. They are generating this beautiful, warm sexual energy. Their orgasm is happening internally and spiritually, which is much more blissful and sustained than the 3-second uncontained, uncontrolled physical ejaculation orgasm. You can't forget that people's auras are touching each other. Okay. Number 2, touch. The moment lovers touch, their energy fields, auras, torus, come together as one. This excites the partners. When another magnetic field, a body, a soul, is nearby, and you are touching it, you are receiving the energy and all the information, the essential information of that individual. That's the reason why when some people are in arms of someone, they don't feel that their love flowing. And the reason is maybe they might like that person physically, but there is something in their energy field from their ancestry and their previous past lovers, which is carried with you forever, or at least for the rest of this lifetime. They pull away or they are not progressing because they are not matching in their energy fields and causes all kinds of arguments, stress and anger. 3. The penetration, the deepest kind of most fulfilling on the physical plane, and it's so intimate. Some fluids are exchanged, for example saliva. In sacred sex there is no seminal exchange, but there is saliva contains the whole spectrum of information from that individual. That is why kissing is so powerful, and the body is now downloading with all the other individuals' energy information. Hormones, ancestral DNA, blood, parasites, including the parasites of former lovers, and all of their baggage is transferred through the saliva, and the one receiving is going to be influenced by that individual by the rest of their lives, for good or bad. This is the reason why polymorphs are so dangerous. You bring this information into your temple, which is to be debt-free, clean and sacred and pure. So is sacred sex. What happens is that the two that are devoted to each other are practicing the sex, they are building a temple, whereby they are building protected from demonic entities, parasites. I would call this in the computer language or informatic or programming viruses, okay, or malware. So when this happens, the temple is building on purity, and the oils, the charisma oils inside of the subtle bodies are now raised, and the conscience grows. And you will see people that practice this kind of sex, you will see them to be more mentally stable, more advanced spiritually, more conscious, more peaceful, less deterred and disturbed by events in the world, less agitated, because they are not running so many programs in the background, okay, because they are focused, okay, because the DNA has been downloaded and accepted, and so these individuals are much more clean, pure, progress greatly in their lifetime, okay. Basically, they are most connected to God, okay. Books that he mentions, the marriage of lambs, okay, the marriage of lamb, that's Iris, the Lamb of God, the alchemical wedding, the esoteric science, but in the Bible is called the marriage of the land. In sacred sex, you are combining the two energy fields, pure, they intertwine and they become one in consciousness. This is the sacred ascending. So, and then Santos Bonacci reads the page 33, the relations of the sexes to each other. The paragraph 3, it reads until the page 35, the past paragraph, line 6. The pages have all the points of these 2 hour presentations, okay? And then he reads the perfect matrimony. The twin flame will create, he reads, there is no spilling of the seed occurs, and the only pure sacred sex is practiced, and it's from the book, the page 98 and 99. I will add the links down below, okay? The twin flame will create a relationship that will ascend perfect and ascend to the left-hand path. Anything that goes where promiscuity is practiced, it causes depravity, disease, and all kinds of degenerations. Young men were sent to seminaries, and if they were religious and spiritual and wanted to advance in the spiritual path, and what is a seminary? If not an institution or school where semen retention is taught, and explored not the spreading of the wasting of the semen. The ancient religion of Dara, the holy book of the Zoroastrians, from Zarathustra, Avesta says that man involuntarily admits his seed in a wet dream will have a penalty. If a man involuntarily with masturbation, there is nothing that can cleanse from it. It is a trespass where there is no atonement for. Once you decide to ascend, you see how the world is programming us to abandon the pure way. The more sexual encounters you will have, the more you are divining your soul, Father, and the more difficult it is to ascend. Swallow, it's a man's semen might be healthy, but it is effect cannibalism. It's sex of death. How do we know our energy is pure? And then he says that animals do not ascend, okay? Humans enjoy sex. Humans can also ascend by meditation. It's the sex in the mind, always making love in the head. It's that bliss, that feeling of bliss, of contentment, of having your oils here, okay? You complete your half soul, and when you have come together, you bring to complete hearts, and you have done all the work. They match each other. They meet the timeline, continue, and the work together to ascend together. Thomas Bourgogne says, if you do not meet your twin flame this lifetime, you will meet them on the 4th chakra above your head. It is the spiritual heart chakra. And as long as they keep longing for restoring that love, they will find each other. If they abandon that path, they will get distracted. They will squander many opportunities to return. Okay? And according to what Santos Bonacci says, that you just know in your heart. Okay? See people very hardworking, motivated, and 10 years later, they are in the gutter, hopeless, desperate, and crying, in a miserable condition, because they have been wasting their energy. soul will be so corrupted and your soul will not ascend. Senses of the body and senses of the soul spirit. When man is in control of the dragon, the Saint George, Saint Michael, kill the dragon. He knows he's not going to defile his partner and make her prostitute. Okay, you make your partner prostitute if you ejaculate. This is now reverting her into a virgin. Once a virgin has strengthened her the past, once has experienced true sex, whether it is male or female, they now have, according to some scholars, it will take them a year to proper sexual practices to be restored and to cleanse the temple and to eliminate all entities and to have protected soul from any kind of corrosion. No woman respects an ejaculator. They might say I love you and have a measure of respect, but they will never be completely respected because that man is satisfying himself with a fleeting experience rather than an everlasting experience when you learn how to control the orgasm and implode. Its strength in that magnetism is traced in that you build up your charisma by keeping your cries in. People that ejaculate look dull in the eyes, look grey. There is an energy of lifelessness, as though their soul has abandoned their body. They can be very intellectual, clever, but there is a disconnect, there is no godliness in them. And you can see them godless, lost, looking in their soul, which they lost simply because they have allowed their birth to be diluted and degraded. The soul is in the breath. Adam means soul, means breath. It's the red blood. The passions are in the blood and the inspirations is in the breath. So when you talk to someone close, they are breathing in your space. And you are talking in some particles of their breath. To be very careful with whom you share your space with. After shaking their hand, wash it. In the Greek system, they said when you sit next to a great mind, you become a great mind, because part of their conscience will be downloaded onto you. When you stand next to a fool and they're degenerated, you will get downgraded and you will not escape. It's about magnetic exchange. That's what an atom is. Get upgraded or downgraded. It does fusion or fission. An atom of carbon becomes an atom of nitrogen. 6 to 7, and then oxygen to 8, then come together through an ionic bonding, where one atom loses an electron, it jumps from one to the other and modifies it, and makes it a different isotope, where there are no particles. What happens is that they come together, two atoms, one atom exerts influence on the other, and the atom and its torus field releases and gives some of its energy to the other atom. There is an exchange on each other's frequencies. The frequency of their vibrations changes and they don't exchange properly because particles don't exist. Okay? It's the same with two atoms of human beings. A human being is an anatomy, well, body of atoms. When a body of atoms comes together, what's happening is that a good person is mixing with a bad person who has a lot of karma. They are downgraded and the other person is benefited and they get what they wanted, which is to steal the energy of a beautiful person that they had an encounter with. And those encounters are very costly. The woman will always choose a partner that will conquer her with time and not seduce them. If she meets somebody, she will see him in different angles. She does not take him home that night. She says she gives me your number and I will call you. Then they will go out for coffee. Then she sees the guy from different perspectives, circumstances, different scenarios. Let's see how he acts, how some questions, and see how he answers. See if the individual has the same morals and principles, ethics, virtues. When the woman is sure, or the man, when the intimacy begins, they know they made a good choice. They are not contaminated with an inferior soul. Many great men and women pair themselves with inferior souls. This is called unequal yoked, with unbelievables for your destiny and heavens. A big bull next to a small car. The big bull will carry everyone and use much more energy. conquer women, respect me, see me, my actions, to listen to me, hear me, and then the individual is more ready to be holy with you because he conquered them. After one night stand, you need to go to a healer and shaman to do some ritual chanting. There is the word devil in development. Okay? Angels are loyal and faithful to the ascension process. Demons are seduced and keep us down on earth, and they do that through thought waves and emotional waves. The difference is that one that protects himself will come unscattered, and the other one won't. Santos Bonacci, the fourth most destructive lies of history. Okay, governments are opposed to the true creators, the synagogue of Satan, the book of the Rothschilds, the Jesuits. Do light workers protect from weapons, linguistics, the eclipse of life? So I will stop here because I'm already getting tired. Thank you very much for listening to me. Comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and for donations, it's linked down below. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye.